So I just watched this doom and gloom video, and it was Japan and Korea are doomed. Low birth rates. What's going to happen in 20 years? And as I read that headline, I said to myself, wait, why is it doom? What if it's evolution? You know, why are humans so attached to this world right now, the way it is? Like, why do we want to keep spinning the hamster wheel over and over again? The same. We want more babies, more money, more careers, more workers working. We're doing this. We want the same bullshit system that we have right now. I find it very funny. It's like, what if the wheel is supposed to stop? What if we're not meant to bring in more people or more systems, like the same systems, keep the systems running? It's like the obsession with keeping the same thing running forever. Like, let's not change. We're always complaining about the planet, the earth. We're complaining about everything, but God forbid something ends. Change is messy. Change is uncomfortable. Change is not cute. Change means maybe fewer babies. It means, systems failing. It means structures collapsing. Structures that could be educational systems. It could be medical. It could be political. It could be your careers collapsing. It could be relationships collapsing. It's the end of something. We need to birth anew. But the human is always asking, why is this happening? Oh my God, it's the end of the world. And why can't we just trust it? Trust that the end of this chapter brings us into the new evolution. Hello, my beautiful warriors of love. My name is Sabrina. For everyone that's new here, I am bringing this because I've probably brought this up in a lot of other videos, but this is something dear to my heart right now because I'm seeing it before my eyes, and I see people still moving in fear. And these reels that I see all the time, I'm like always flabbergasted by how, why do we have to be 8 billion people in this world? Like, the human wants, they say they want change, but they don't really want change because they see all the changes as something bad. I'll bring you a very hot topic. These are all hot topics for sure because these are very triggering moments for everybody. Forests burning, marine animals dying, polar bears dying, animals going extinct. Complete ecosystems collapsing, dying. And the world goes, oh my God, we need to save everything. We need to save it. And I'm like, why? Do you need to save every human? No, because some of them die. Most of them die, right? We birth, we die. Why is it not okay for the animal to birth and to die? Why do we see as the forest burning down as such a bad thing? The roots are still in place, by the way. Even if the trees die, the roots stay. They've been there for millions of years and they remain there. They just grow again. Mother Earth needs to die again and again to rebirth herself, and she knows that very well. She cannot stay in the same environment or the same way because the atmosphere is changing. You're on a spiritual journey with me, so you know that we are carbon-based, who is in the process of crystallizing, in process of diamondizing, right? So in these atmospheric changes, the earth, which is our reflection, has to change too. I'm sorry. It's not just the human that's changing. Everything is changing here. My DNA is upgrading on a daily basis. My whole blueprint inside me. The activations happening within me is like humongous, but it's because it's a reflection of the outside world. We're both reflecting each other, right? So my old me is dying as my upgrades come in. Why is it not okay that Earth dies as well? Why are we attaching and holding on to the old Earth so badly and not allowing evolution to occur? This is something really huge, because, you know, can you trust a smaller population if that's what's needed? Can you trust that? Or do you need to go into like, oh my God, we need to overproduce, reproduce? You know, like, why can't, this is another thing. Why can't you trust that AI has come in to take away our jobs? Please take my job away from me. Like, what is wrong with the human? I say to myself, I'm like, why do you need to work in that cubicle? You know, like, how many hours is it? I don't even know. Like 9 to 5. Like, why do you have to do that? Why? Because they feel safe and they feel comfortable. And this is what I know. And this is how I want to live for the rest of our life. But that doesn't work if we need to evolve, right? It's just not working anymore. And tower moments are put into place for that reason. And 2020 was put into place for that reason. It's to shut this shit down, get everyone inside, and get everyone thinking and awakening to something like, oh, right? So all of these things happen in the world. To me, a war is occurring because you're the reflection of it. You're angry. If you're angry, the anger must be reflected out. It reflects. So anger is war to me. Is the expression of violence. You have violent thoughts, rage thoughts. We all have that. We all go through these. Even in a traffic jam, you're like, fuck you, like you, blah, blah. That's anger that comes out. Where does that energy go, people? Where do you think it goes? Like, it goes somewhere. To me, these external movie scenes have nothing to do with what you're being told, that it's like, oh, corruption, it's oil, and it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you, because you're the energy source. And it's like trusting, like, we all know this on this journey, that we know that we need to collapse. We need to die. My old version needs to die. It's already dying, right? Because I need to move into this new one. My body, in the same reason why I'm never told what's coming up, you know, because they're like, well, you're not dead yet. You know, that part of you is not dead yet. Everyone is afraid of death, but the death occurs all the time. We're dying every day. But in that death, there's that rebirth. You know, there's that phoenix energy that shows up all the time. And we're not able to fully see what's coming for us because we're always attached to this old ecosystem, this old self, this old movie. It's like we don't trust. It's a funny, I think as humans are a little weird, that you don't trust, you trust the endings of a book. You trust the endings of a book, right? You trust the ending of a movie that you watch. You trust it, you know, sometimes you get upset about it, but it's over. But you don't trust these large scale endings. You know, you don't trust, you panic when you see collapse in the world. You panic when you see, oh my God, the tsunami is like, oh my God, this is it, this is the end. You know, you panic at like all of this. Because the TV, again, or the social media makes it worse than it is. And we all know this already. Like, everyone, I'm still amazed at how people come back and say, oh my God, did you see that? I said, did you see the same actor playing in Syria as he played in like in 2020? Like, the same, it's a movie, people. Like, you know, but anyways, you're going to believe whatever you want to believe, whatever resonates in your heart. To me, it's like, I'm like I said in a lot of videos, I'm so ready for evolution. I don't want to play in these old scripts anymore. To me, it's boring. And I wanted Mother Earth, like Mother Earth expresses her anger, expresses herself in all this natural disaster, but I honor her for doing that. Like, you know, if she needs to do that. And a lot of you will be sitting there right now thinking, well, people lose their lives because of these things, these situations. You don't seem to understand that, Sabrina. Like, I totally understand that. And I have lots of compassion for that human that volunteered on this earth to die at that age and to do it at that time. I do. I really do. But I was that person maybe 300 years ago too. I died on that battlefield. Maybe I was 11 years old when I died on that battlefield. But look where I am now. I'm here, living another life. So we're attached to the human body. We're attached to it. Oh my God, it's the end all and the be all. Instead of looking on the outside of everything and saying, okay, things are happening. And I always honor the deaths of humans or animals or ecosystems. I honor it. But I'm not going to attach to it because I'm going to let them go freely. Because listen, when we attach to this that is already gone, you're plugging your energy into something that is dead, that has collapsed. So what are you doing? You're keeping it alive. The same way like we do that with people who die in our lives. We continue plugging that energy into that person who is trying to live its life in the ethers, in the other universe. And we're holding on to them with dear life. But they're like, no, my journey is gone. Like, if any of us have ever seen those, what are they called? You know, when the afterlife, when they what is it called? Anyways, but that's not what it's called. But they die for 5 minutes and they go and they like, there is I'll probably write it in the thing. Okay. They always say, oh, it's so peaceful there. But yeah, we hold on to, no, we're going to hold on to everything. You know, like that's the thing. It's the same way, like whatever animal needs to go extinct, can you trust that's it? That's it for them. They have lived, they have, prepared us for the next ecosystem to come in. Honor that animal. Like we honor the dinosaur. Like the dinosaur died. Thank you so much for coming. You know, whatever it was that he needed to do or they needed to do, they did. Let's move on to the next one. Evolution. You know, and humans want explanations for everything. They need you, like Mother Nature doesn't explain herself. Neither should the human. We should give permission and allow things to happen. Here's the thing that nobody wants to admit. Humans are addicted to forcing change, right? We force relationships, even though they're not working. We're like, no, we're going to make this work. We're stubborn as fuck. We're going to make it work. We force careers. We force our identities. We force systems that are old, these old belief systems. We keep like being adamant, stubborn, and following that system, even though it wants to freaking collapse. It's like, it's not working. But no. The human is like, it's almost like this persistence. They feel like they're making a change in the world by holding on to the past. And you're like, like it's like a little weird sometimes to me. I find it very, like I said, let's follow Mother Earth. Let Mother Earth allows forests to burn, to wash away villages. She allows like, like the climate change, global warming. She's like, yeah, man, this is me doing that. Why can't you accept that? This is the thing. They don't think it's Mother Nature. They think that she's a victim. Because why? People who see Mother Nature as a victim are, in fact, a victim of themselves. They are a victim as well, with whatever it is in their life. So you see that the reflection is Mother Earth. Oh, if you're very, very affected by war or by shootings or whatever, then you know, there's somewhere inside you that is in full fear mode or full anger mode. It's everything is a reflection at the end of the day. And here we are trying to make stories of everything, create stories of everything, and hold on to those fucking stories. You know? So we'll go back to the beginning when I said Japan and Korea, they have low birth rates, and so maybe that's a good thing. Like I was watching this reel and everybody was like, oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Like, what if the world is not supposed to have that many babies? And, you know, like, that's like, it's insane for humans to think that. Like, what do you mean? So we should all just, and then it becomes extremist. This is another thing. Every time I say something, then they go to the other extreme. Oh, shall we all stop having babies and we should all... I'm like, no, man, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about natural evolution. Like, if it's not occurring, if there's a low birth rate in one country, let it be. And it will rectify itself or it won't. Like, why do we have to, like, why does the human feel this need to, you know, bring it back, like, make it the way it used to be? Right? The way I, like, this is like a little thing that I see on Reels. I see, like, I'm a Gen X chick. I'm a Gen X fangirl, let's say. I am, 100,000%. And I love those Gen X things, and, you know, there's millennials watching me, and there's boomers watching me, and there's Gen Z maybe watching me too, but whatever. And there's all these channels that are, like, based on these generations, which are freaking hilarious, but also like, they keep us there. They keep us wanting to go back to that kind of, yeah, we should go back to cassettes, and we should go back to the way it was. No, man, that was something that happened. Let it live there. And like I always say, we can go back to the memories and laugh about them. And yes, remember the dial-up phone, remember all this, it was fucking hilarious. But don't live there. And people who want to bring that back is like, what? No, you don't want evolution. Right? Like, again, you want to go back to the past. And social media is fucking awesome for that. Media is really good at keeping people in the past and fearing evolution and fearing AI and fearing everything that's coming in. It's going to ruin the world. It's going to be the apocalypse. I don't know how many times in my whole lifetime, which is 56 years of it, that I've heard on the news, this is the end of the world. This is it. This is the apocalypse that's coming. The nuclear bomb. You remember that scare that we had? I don't know when it was, in the 80s and 90s. I don't know. This is it. We're going... Like, the world keeps us in fear. Oh my God, look, the tsunami that happened in Thailand was the end of the world. Everything, whatever goes on that is so tragic and traumatic, everyone, and victimize the people that lost, it's all this low energy, low frequency. Fear is the worst frequency ever. If the media or whatever this is going on is reflecting that, you know, expressing this out to you, you're expressing fear and sadness. All low frequency keeps the earth in a static state. It cannot evolve. Again, you are the energy source, so everything that you do matters. Everything you feel matters, actually. Even if like nothing matters. I say that all the time. Nothing matters. You don't matter, right? But you do it in a way, because you are the energy that keeps the earth alive. So in that, if you're just focusing on yourself at that moment, your energy will collapse. Like if you start doing all the work, like I'm doing a lot of clearing at this moment in time. And as I clear my grief, and as I clear my weakness, as I clear all this shit that I've been holding on to, my clearing will probably cause something like a flooding, because I am clearing the emotion. So there's a flooding, or I don't know, whatever, a wind, heavy winds. And the people think that's crazy. Oh, you created the snowstorm? I mean, not just me, but everyone else is feeling something. They're creating weather. They're creating collapses. They're creating earthquakes. You're the reflection. Why does it not, it doesn't work with Mother Nature, it just works with other things, right? Oh yes, I believe we're the mirrors of people and we bring them in our life, but it doesn't work with Mother Nature? We're working together here. We're a team. Why is it always convenient to have this storyline playing out, but when it comes to the whole picture, it's not convenient? I'd rather just complain and like, you're not recycling enough and you're not doing this enough and you're not like blah blah blah, and like focusing our attention on things that are meant to collapse. Evolution is messy. And that's it. Period. Why can't we accept that? You know, if we didn't put so much attention on everything failing because it needs to fail, then things would just fall away and collapse on their own, and we would be honoring them instead of fighting against it and, you know, seeking recognition of something that happened 50 years ago. I need you to recognize that this is... No, man, let it go. Stop holding on to this pain and this anger and this sadness. What does it do to bring it back to the present? It makes no sense to me. Why would you want to bring this to the past? You want to continuously be the victim? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it happens within cultures, within everything that happens in this world. And we continue and we continuously focus on the victim. It's the victimization of the world, and it's so clear to me that you're the mirror of that. And I'm not saying that I've never victimized myself 100,000%. I've said this in another video as well, of 100,000. But it's going to show up in my world. As soon as I start clearing my own crap, the crap has to come out and is expressing itself in the world, because I am the world. I am the world. No, we are the world. You know, we are the people. We are. Like, look at those lines. We are the world. I apologize if I come out sounding angry, but I'm not angry. I'm very passionate in the way I speak. So, you know, it is what it is, and this is who I am. And I have like a script here, because I write down all my feelings, obviously down. And I was just looking at something, and I was thinking about this. I live in Montreal, Canada, and I was recently, always at a cafe talking to people, and someone was telling me, you know, I want to move out of Montreal. Everyone's broke, everyone's struggling, everyone's asking why, you know, and they're always talking. They're always like, why don't you leave, Sabrina? You know, you're free. You can do anything you want. And maybe 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, I'm leaving. I was thinking of moving out of Montreal as well. But now I'm in a different state of being, because I'd be like, go where? Like, you know, like, I'm going to do what? Where? Like, if I'm like, I'm not struggling right now, but the other person, let's say they're like, I'm struggling, I hate it here, the language, or this, and everyone's complaining. When they complain about a city that you're living in, do you think that the next city is going to be any different? Because it's in a different country, it's next to the ocean, I'm going to be calmer. No, it's not. Because the city in front of you is just a reflection of you. The same thing as the world is. Right? So I just moved into a new building. 2020, I moved into this building. From 2020 to, I would say, 2024, I don't know how I endured this, but no, not 2020, because it was freaking lockdown. But let's say 21 to 24, major construction on my street. They dug it up not once, because this is the corruption of the city, but it's fine. And they dug it up twice. And then they built a new building in front of me, which they told me there wouldn't be any building. Just to say, major construction all the time. And I sat there and said, what the frick is happening here? Like, so to me, in my mind, I was like, oh, is this like, this is me? They're like, yes. I'm under construction. They're like, absolutely. I said, so everybody in these buildings is under construction? They're absolutely. And I was like, that's so silly. Like every single person, like in this building, but not in the next building over there. And they're like, you thinking this is silly is you being a human. I said, okay, right? So I was like, okay, now I see it like that. I see it as like my whole city, if anyone knows Montreal, is a shit show. It's like cones everywhere. The streets are a mess, like potholes 24, like 365 days a year, not because of winter, because we're just, but I look at it differently and I look at it and say, oh, the whole city is in collapse mode, right? Is it the whole, all of the 4 million people that live in Montreal a collapse mode? I don't think so. But a significant amount is, and if we go throughout the world, you'll see shit in your city. And if you're seeing the shit in your city, it's because you're feeling it inside. Right? And going to another city, going to another country, going to live by the ocean or in the mountains is not going to change anything because you're still with it. And it's going to cause another reflection to occur in that city as well. To me, it's like escaping. I'm not escaping. And that's why everyone is always saying, why don't you go traveling? Why don't you go traveling? Sabrina, I don't understand why you're not traveling. I haven't left my country since 2020, which is weird because I've traveled the world up until 2020. But I don't feel the need to do that because I am working on me. And I could do it in another country and work on me 100,000% and traveling. It's not where I'm at, right? I'm in this place of introspection and self-reflection, and I want to see it. And I've the funny thing is, as I went through this journey, a lot of my friends were like, we should go into live in the forest, we should create earth ships, and I never felt that need. I always knew I had to be in the urban world. Everyone, even now, they're like, I don't know how you live in that fucking shit show, but I don't think it is. But anyways, and my higher self was like, you need to be there. This is where you're doing the transmuting of your energy and others. This is it. This is where you need to be. So stop questioning yourself. And they're like, you need to be here. Eventually, you might need to move somewhere else. But right now, can you trust this, Sabrina? I'm like, 100%. I will trust it. I will trust that, like right now, it's been a year and a half and there's nothing, and it's very reflective of me. It's quiet. And I'm like, oh my God, awesome, And then they're like, do you see that correlation? I told it was here that I see this. I see the reflection of the world more and more, and it's very I don't know, it changes. It changed me so much to be able to even when I'm in, I'm rarely in traffic, by the way, but if I'm in traffic, I have major rage issues. I will be honest with you. I'm like, ugh. But I catch myself, oh my God, Sabrina, I don't know what's going on in this guy's head, is he being an asshole because his wife just gave birth and he needs to get to that freaking hospital, or is he being an asshole because he's an asshole? At this point, it doesn't really matter. It's like I catch myself, and that's what I'm doing. This whole journey is me catching myself in these moments of rage, or these moments of super happiness, or these moments of sadness, and okay, what is going on, and seeing in front of me it's just so beautiful to be able to see your mirrors, however ugly they are. So it's I'm gonna read out to you what I wrote because it's pretty impressive. What if money isn't the goal anymore? What if survival through exhaustion isn't the point? Why are we always seeking money all the time? Because we're afraid of failing. As individuals, as societies, as a species, we're always okay, no, because look at what they're doing on social media. Look at all these people with these big homes. What about these people that are living the high life? Look at their best life. They're living and they're traveling and they're on the yacht, blah blah blah, right? But you know, and like I bring this up a lot with people. Like, what if the education system is failing because it's obsolete? Like, why do we need to know? Like, really, you know, I'm going to tell you again, I'm going to be honest again with my like life. And then I was never very good in school. No, until I went to fashion school, and I loved it, by the way. I was like in my element. But before that, I was like, you know, what is that word? Like, skimming along, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, just passing. Because in school, I would be like, what is this stupid information that we're learning? Like, literally my soul was screaming, like, yes, you're right. Who gives a shit about this? It's not important. You know, history, I never got it. Like, why do I care about the Russian Revolution that happened in 17 whatever? I don't give a shit. Like, how does it affect my life now? But it's information, Sabrina, that you should know. Why? Why do I need to know this information? Right? It's like, look back in high school. What was the subjects that really irritated you? You know, like my stepmother always says, like, I don't know any geography, because for her journey, it was not important for her to know it. Right? Like, and to this day, like, who cares? Like, but we put so much importance because of human programming on these certain things, but without realizing that it's not important. And all this information that we gathered, all of us, is like information that's in this earth, and it's all like a mishmash of frequencies that keeps the earth like static again, and doesn't allow for evolution, because we're stuck in all these programs. It's quite interesting, you know. And like, this is the best one. Relationships want to end. We want, you know, but a human hangs on to them. Oh no, we can't. You know, I'm going to change that person. I'm going to change myself to have this relationship work. I'm going to compromise myself to the nth degree so this works, so that everyone around us sees how happy we are. Yeah, I'm going to stay here because I have children. I'm going to make them miserable watching us fight behind the doors. Yes, you know, I'm going to do this. It has to end. Just like the world needs to, like, certain things in the world need to end. The human needs to keep everything alive. Your career is not going anywhere, but I'm going to stay here and be bored as fuck every single day of my life, and I'm going to file and I'm going to input information just because I'm afraid that if I don't have this job, then because God doesn't want to provide me abundance, apparently. No, you got it all wrong, dude, because God wants to provide, or the source wants to provide abundance, not independent, abundance and love and everything, but you don't trust it. So you do this. And you force it all to work. And you stay in the same place. And you keep Earth static. And you keep all the shit happening because you're not facing your mirrors. And you're not allowing collapse to occur in your life. And this is the realization of the human. You're like, it all begins with me. Absolutely. One person it takes to start collapsing, and it starts, freeing up. You know, like I said, there's no more. I said, this whole building collapse shit. And they're like, yeah, but, you know, you're an energetic powerhouse who truly believes in her energy. So, you know, sometimes, Sabrina, we would like you to take the credit for things. And I'd be like, I don't take the credit for anything, because I believe it's like a whole one thing, right? It's like, it's not the soul's not saying, it's only you kind of thing either. They're like, just like, be proud of yourselves, all of you, because we're all working together. Because what I'm doing is reflecting on you. What you're doing is actually reflecting back at me too. And I'm learning from you, even if it's energetic. That's why I love, you know, this family that we have here, because it's like unseen family, but still working together, which is beautiful. We're collapsing old realities without even knowing it, and we don't need to know it, right? And I've always been told this, and it always triggered people around me, but I've always was told this. It doesn't mean it's true, but it was always told that, like, when the world collapses for real and we move into the new evolution, it's not going to be noticeable, like, to the background actors, let's say, the population. It's just going to happen, and people are going to be okay with it. And they're not going to say, oh my God, thanks for the light workers, for the energy workers to have done that, because it's not going to be. So don't wait for that. Don't expect any, like, and a lot of these channels that I see is like, oh, okay, this is it. We're going to go and it's going to change. And you're like, no, just shut the fuck up and do the work. Stop looking for this, like, praise. Everyone wants to be living in the ego world. Right? But that's what it is. You hate the ego, but then you want fame and you want the likes and you want people to, like, look at us, conspiracy theorists. We figured it out that this leader is a dumbass. Like, we figured this out. We know that this Hollyweird is weirder than you think, I don't go around doing that. I just laugh every time I hear something. I'm like, oh, okay. But that means because you're attaching to that information. Oh my God, I can go on and on. I'm going to be here forever. Like, I look at the time, I'm like, okay. Oh. Okay, I think I say everything. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's it. All this to say, let the systems fall. Let your identities dissolve. Let the old energy die. Honor the deaths of humans and animals and ecosystems and all of it. Allow it. Institutions. Let them die. Let them collapse. Don't put so much attention to it. Let it be, so that you can move forward. That the earth can move forward, because now we're not letting the earth move forward. We're keeping her stuck in her old, oh no, we're going to keep it, we're going to preserve everything. Everybody talks like, oh, global warming, but who the hell's telling you about global warming? Right? Like, trust your instincts, people. I've heard stories in my, 50 plus years that I've been here. I've heard so many stories about so much bullshit. And nothing has happened. So, like, it's only going to happen because you're willing it to happen, because of your fear inside you. So the first step is to acknowledge this fear. The first step is to face your mirrors and see them. And now, like, it's like flip the script moments. Collapse isn't failure, it's clearance. Like, I've said this before, like, I flip the script now. So I see the construction in front of me. I'm in the traffic. I see the cones, fucking annoying cones everywhere. I'm like, okay, Sabrina, flip the script. What is that showing you? Why are you annoyed by the cones? Because sometimes I go around the cones and I say, oh, they're so pretty, the orange, And because at that moment, I'm feeling really good about myself. So I'm like, oh, wow, look, I flipped the script without even knowing it. Right? This guy just cheated on me 1,000 times, and I've always allowed him back into my life, and now flip the script. Dude, get the fuck out of my, like, get out of here, man. What am I doing to myself? Why am I enduring this? Why am I enduring this? I'm not saying that, like, oh man, there's no way I'm saying that, right? Like, she did that to you too, or whatever happened in your life. Whatever is happening in your life, flip the script, because it's always about you anyways. Something coming to clear. Allow shit to end in your life. Stop holding on to people that need help all the time. This is another thing that people do a lot. You go into healer mode, savior mode, where I'm going to save this person who's stuck in his or her life, and I'm going to go into full mother mode. And it's like, no, man, people got to do their own work. Step aside. Allow their life to collapse, as your life has collapsed, by the way, right? You continuously collapse. We're continuously dying and rebirthing, dying and rebirthing. So everyone else got to do the same shit. All right, I'm going to leave it here because I can go on and on and on, as you can see, right? I'm like going to be here for 5 hours. Okay. So, I hope that this is a good one. Can you trust what's ending without needing to understand it? 100,000%. Because we all need it. We always need an explanation. This is crazy. I love it. All right. I hope you enjoyed this little passionate rant. But when you start seeing things, it starts to make a little sense. And when you get triggered by reels, or when you get like, or things come up in front of you, flip the script, or also just pay attention to it. Pay attention to what's going on in your body at the moment. Like, focus on you a little bit instead of focusing on that. Say, okay, like, I'm not a logical person at all, but logic is coming in. You know, when I see something happening in the world, I'm like, okay. I don't look at it as like, oh, power, corruption, and lies. I don't look at that anymore like that. I look at it as, okay, what's going on with the human? Right? But like, if this is affecting me and I'm getting like deeply affected by it, I'm just showing my compassionate side to humanity. I'm just showing, I say, no, it's like people want other people to see them as compassionate, as empathic. It doesn't matter what other people see about you. That's another video. But like, look at it yourself. What is coming up within you that needs to clear? That you are getting triggered by that event in the world, or that person in the world, or that situation in your city, or whatever that is. So this is where I leave you. I love you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm coming out with lots of Let's Talks this next few months. Enjoy them. You know, do what you want with them. Don't have to like, just take the information, let it flow. And also, if you can, if you do love this video, support me in any way you can, which is through memberships or donations or liking and sharing this video. All right. I love you. And I'll see you in the next one.